Alright, Middle-Aged White Guy Reacts, back again today with another video for you, and in today's video, we actually have a song that we reacted to and posted earlier today. We reacted to it, we posted it, we immediately took it down. Alright, had to take it down because I posted it without any audio. And unfortunately, I recorded it without any audio, so there's no going back and fixing it. So we lost the entire reaction, essentially. So I've seen this song, I've heard this song. This song, though, is deep enough, and there's plenty to talk about outside of the context of a reaction. Now, my original reaction was like a half an hour long. We really got into some stuff. This one shouldn't be as long because I know what's coming, I know what to expect, I know what I want to say, and where I'm pretty much going to say it at. So, this is not technically a reaction. It's still going to kind of feel the same. Now, this is Token and Ren, What Does Your Love Look Like? Now, obviously, Ren's been on the channel. We love Ren over here. Big, big fan. Token, this is his first time being featured on the channel. So, congratulations, Token. You made it to Middle-Aged White Guy Reacts. How do you feel? Pretty good, right? But no, I am familiar with Token. Okay, it won't be my first time hearing Token. I have, songs like Code Red, Treehouse, Flamingo. Even my mom would agree. The one about the kid getting bullied in high school. So I have a bunch of stuff of his, like, on my Spotify playlist and stuff. So I'm familiar with Token. I know what to expect from him. Obviously, we know what Ren's all about. So I'm very excited to break this down for you. Like I said, I already heard it. I already did the original reaction to it. But there's a lot of good stuff to talk about in this song. So we're going to listen to it, and we'll go over those spots when we get there. So without further ado, let's take two on Token and Ren, What Does Your Love Look Like? This will be the re-reaction, the redo, the review, I guess. Whatever you want to call it. Let's go.
I'm not right for you, but I'm just what I should be. You try to change me, I try to change you. We never change, do we? What does your love look like? What does your love look like? What does your love look like? What does your love look like?
Okay, so, right off the bat, I try to change you, you try to change me. We don't really change, though, do we? Okay? A lot of times people do that, right? They get with somebody and they're looking at them, they're like, it's checking all these boxes for them, except there's a couple of things that they don't like, and that may be deal breakers in the future, but they think it's okay. We could change that about the person, right? And that's just not how it works. It's not how it works, unless you find somebody who really wants to change, okay? And for most of the time, if you want to change, you don't change for other people. You change for yourself. It's something you wanted to do for you. So, you could get lucky and strike gold and have all those things line up, and they could change that stuff that you don't like about them. But, it's important to find a partner that you're compatible with and that you can live with their flaws, because chances are the flaws they have when you meet them aren't going anywhere, right? So if you can live with them, that's great, and you guys might be able to be compatible, and you could move forward into a relationship and hopefully live a long, happy life together. But if these are things you can't get over, no amount of time and trying to change them is going to help that situation. And even if you are able to brute force change somebody, more often than not, they'll resent you for it. Okay, so it's not healthy. So just find someone you're compatible with in the first place. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Look like. What does your love look like? What does your love look like? As much as I do want to love you, I feel like we're speaking two different languages. Your house had a gate and mine had instigated, so that's the environment we feel safer in. You thought it was crazy how long that it took me to tell you I love you, like that was the weirdest. I only heard dad say I love you with mom in the room when he went back to singing his lyrics. So how could you blame me, cause you always choose to. You always choose to. You wanna know where I'll be at all the time, but that's not what I'm used to. Not what I'm used to. You knew where your dad was at work.
Okay, alright, before I let him go too much further, yeah, I'm gonna go back. Let's go back a little bit. take this by parts here.
As much as I do want to love you, I feel like we're speaking two different languages. Your house had a gate and mine had instigated, so that's the environment we feel safer and you thought it was crazy.
Okay, so we have her who's gated community. She's this upper class upbringing, right? Probably mom and dad real happy together. They do stuff as a family. They're at the zoo together. They're having picnic lunches at the park together. Just a very positive, happy upbringing. He, on the other hand, maybe lower class, or there's problems at home. He says, hold on, we'll let him get to it. But yeah, he's pointing out the differences in their upbringing. At first, he's pointing out, the economic differences, right?
See how long that it took me to tell you I love you, like that was the weirdest. I only heard dad say I love you with mom in the room when he went back to singing his lyrics. So all
right, so like his dad's not really one to say he loves his mother or to model that kind of positive relationship for him. So as a child growing up, he kind of has a distant father, right? And this is how a relationship between a man and a woman is modeled to him as a young person who's developing and learning how to interact in the world. Okay, the formative years, right? So in his formative years, he sees his dad with kind of this distant guy who's not really in touch with his feelings and his emotions and doesn't really verbalize his love and his care and stuff for his family. So he has to struggle as an adult with saying these words because this is just not what he's seen growing up. And that's going to be a theme in his verses throughout the song. And it just builds on it. It's brilliant. His part's brilliant. All right, we have plenty of time to comment about that other stuff, but let's just let him go here for a minute.
So that's the environment we feel safer and you thought it was crazy how long that it took me to tell you I love you, like that was the weirdest. I only heard dad say I love you with mom in the room when he went back to singing his lyrics. So how could you blame me, cause you always choose to. You wanna know where I be at all the time, but that's not what I'm used to. You knew where your dad was at work or he's home when he's taking the load off. I didn't know where until 1:24 the day I got that phone call. And I let the phone drop. I'm trying to.
Okay, so there's the differences in their dad. Like her dad's there. She knows where he's at. She doesn't have to wonder, okay? Her dad's present in her life. His dad, he's wondering where he is. He doesn't know the guy's in and out. He could be at the bars with his friends. He could be, out chasing women. Whatever the case may be, the guy's not around. And he's not consistent, okay? And he can't rely on his presence there. And he said he doesn't know where his dad's at until the day he gets that phone call on 1/24, whatever the year. Obviously it's the day his dad died, I'm assuming, right? And I'm not sure if... I'm assuming this is Token's backstory, like his actual backstory. So I'm gonna speak on it like it is, okay? So his dad has passed now. So now he knows where he's at, obviously. You get the phone call, hey man, sorry, your dad's gone. Is what it is. He doesn't have to wonder anymore. So, but this is, this kind of complete polar opposite of what this girlfriend experienced. And I'm not sure if this girlfriend is a real girlfriend, or like a fictitious one made up for the purposes of the song. But either way, this is a situation that, many people find themselves in. And these differences can be hard to overcome. Okay. And it's not necessarily anyone's fault. It's just a matter of upbringing. Like, think about it from his perspective already. As a youngster, he didn't have a positive relationship between his mom and father to look up to and to see this is how this is supposed to work. All right. His dad wasn't really present. He isn't a consistent part of his life. His dad doesn't seem to be affectionate or loving or able to communicate those feelings at the very least with his family. So that concept is kind of foreign to him as an adult. Her, on the other hand, seems like very nice upbringing. Her dad's around, present, involved. All right. So a complete 180 different upbringings for both of them. Let's go.
Didn't know where until 1:24 the day I got that phone call. And I let the phone drop. I'm trying to be my best to be a gentleman. I'm trying to learn. I never had the chance. I still look to my manager, but he gon' teach me how to be a rapper before a good man.
And that's, so his dad's gone. Okay. He doesn't have, as he's becoming a young man, a young adult, starting to, have some success. He doesn't have a male influence in his life to look to, all right? No one to guide him, no one to model behaviors for him, right? So who does he look up to? The male influences in his life currently. And probably the biggest one as he's coming up is his manager. So he's looking up to his manager, but the manager has no interest in teaching him how to be a man, how to be a good person, okay? How to take care of this and that, the way a real man does, okay? The only interest the manager has is how to make him a good rapper. How do we make you a better rapper so you can make more money, so you can put more of the money into my pocket, right? That's the goal. This is a business relationship. Him and the manager are a business relationship. It's never going to be a father-son or even a friend relationship. Not the manager's fault. It's not his job to be a role model, a father figure for Token. His only concern, like I said, is his own self-interest, which is make him a better rapper to make me more money. And it's, unfortunate situation, but it is what it is. And the manager's not wrong. The manager's not wrong. Token's not wrong, for seeking it out. It's a tough situation, and it's not that manager's job to fill the holes from, left behind by his father. So yeah, he's looking for guidance, and all he can find is people to, mold him into something else, that he's not really looking for. It's helpful to be a better rapper, but it's not really what he's after, right? Let's go.
I never had the chance, I still look to my manager, but he gon' teach me how to be a rapper before a good man. I grew up afraid to find a letter on mama's dresser telling us goodbye. I'm used to it all, so you don't gotta hold back and cry, but I gotta tell you why. I'm not right for you, but I'm just what I should be. You try to change.
I'm not right for you, but I'm just what I should be. All right, I'm not right for you. I'm just what I should be. You can't help, okay? Taking his upbringing, this is what he should be. He's exactly who he should be because of that. All right, and it might not be right for you. And that's not, like, they might fully 100% love each other, okay? But if you just have these fundamental differences that just and the divide can't be bridged, sometimes it is what it is, and you're just not right for that person for whatever reason. It's just not going to work, no matter how bad you want it to. And it's sad. It's sad, but it is what it is. Let's go.
I'm not right for you, but I'm just what I should be. You try to change me, I try to change you. We never change, do we? What does your love look like? What does your love look like?
Well, why are we freezing?
I try to change you. We never change, do we? What does your love look like? 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 I'm not right for you, but I won't get up and leave. Cause I hate the pain that is color my...
Not right for you, but I won't get up and leave. All right, so he's gonna give it a shot. He's gonna give it his best effort. He's not gonna walk away right away. All right, he knows he's not right, but let's sit here and try and see if we can't make this work. All right, Ren, we're with you. He's amazing in this song. Let's go.
Not right for you, but I won't get up and leave. Cause I hate the pain that is color my veins, that is present in solitary. What did your love look like? Does it look black and white? Is it your kryptonite? Do all your demons get louder at night and the voices get softened when we're intertwined? I've been going to...
Is your love black and white? Is it your kryptonite? It's just,
Kryptonite. Do all your demons get louder at night and the voices get softened when we're intertwined? I've been going...
Do your demons get locked up at night, and does their voices get softer when we intertwine? All right, I mean, that's just, it's like, there's a certain amount of, like, healing, a little symbiotic relationship, maybe. That's just, his part's so good.
What did your love look like? Does it look black and white? Is it your kryptonite? Do all your demons get louder at night and the voices get softened when we're intertwined? I've been going to therapy lately, cause the cause and effect made me hate the way that I feel when the loving gets real, cause I just wanna run and escape the pressure that paints me, pressure of safety, pressures of promises that turn to maybes, pressure of bravely moving in the same direction, the pressure been driving me crazy. So my therapist said that these wounds that I kept were creeping.
Okay, so, the love's getting real now, okay? They're trying to stick it out. The love's getting real. This pressure now from this real thing he has, is getting to him. It makes him want to run away, okay? Because, you know, when you love somebody, you have to trust and you have to be vulnerable. And these are hard things to do with people who have trauma, people who've been hurt in the past. So, you know, these are not easy things for someone to overcome. And like I said, it's not necessarily his fault. It's not her fault, right? But you know, sometimes there's a certain amount of work that has to be done on yourself before you can share yourself with somebody else. And trying to do it without putting the work in first is a lot of times a recipe for disaster. Let's go.
Pressure that paints me, pressure of safety, pressures of promises that turn to maybes, pressure of bravely moving in the same direction, the pressure been driving me crazy. So my therapist said that these wounds that I kept were created when I was a kid. And just like that, all my thoughts raced back to a Welsh town, 96. My mother was crying, my father was screaming and shouting, denying the sin of deceiving and cheating and lying. The weeds are uprooted, the garden is dying, but still she forgives. This cycle.
Okay, that whole part blew my mind during the reaction. Blew my mind. All right. I can't remember if it's Seven Sins or if it's in Troubles. It's in one of those two, right? Troubles? Damn it. Now that's a song, right? Oh, Christ. Not that this matters. I shouldn't stop the reaction for this. Yeah, Troubles. Okay. So it's either in Seven Sins or Troubles. He mentions, like, he can hear love dying, like, through the walls. Through the walls, he can hear love dying, right? And it's like, you know, it kind of, like, gave him the symbolism of, like, he was a child listening to his parents argue, and he can hear them. You know, he might be in his bedroom or in a different room altogether, and you can hear love dying through the walls. And then listen to how he puts this. Listen to what he talks about. This happens in a Welsh town in 1996 or whatever.
Race back to a Welsh town, 96. My mother was crying, my father was screaming and shouting, denying the sin of deceiving and cheating and lying. The weeds are uprooted, the garden is dying, but still she.
So the father's cheating on her and he's denying it, and like they're arguing back and forth. Okay. But the how does he put it? The weeds have been uprooted and the garden is dying.
Shouting, denying the sin of deceiving and cheating and lying. The weeds are uprooted, the garden is dying, but still she forgives.
The weeds have been uprooted, the garden is dying, but still she forgives. Okay, and that's important for later. Like I said, the way they build all this up is awesome in this song. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it was just cool that this was like an Easter egg from like this is what he referenced in that other song. He referenced it, and now we get a deeper insight into what he was talking about in that song. Blew my mind, man. Like I said, my original reaction was so good to this. I was really excited about it. Let's go.
My therapist said that these wounds that I kept were created when I was a kid. And just like that, all my thoughts raced back to a Welsh town, 96. My mother was crying, my father was screaming and shouting, denying the sin of deceiving and cheating and lying. The weeds are uprooted, the garden is dying, but still she forgives. This cycle repeats, every night I try to sleep, hearing the screams through concrete, mothering peace, a vision of love, a lesson that fused with the cells in my blood, a lesson that taught me that love ain't enough and that love can be porcelain when times get tough.
Love isn't enough, and love can be porcelain when times get tough. Okay, so the lessons he learned from this, from watching this happen, you know, the mom forgave, right? He cheated and denied it. She forgave him, but the weeds have been uprooted and the garden was dying. Okay, love isn't enough. She forgave him because she loved him, but love isn't enough, right? And sometimes love is porcelain when times get tough. Think about porcelain. It's thick, it's heavy, looks like it should be sturdy, right? You drop that on the floor though, what happens? Shatters. It's brittle. Okay? Shatters in 1,000 pieces, scatters everywhere. And you know, that's when times get tough. That's when shit's put to the test, really, right? It's really easy to love someone or something or your situation or what have you when everything's good. But when it's tough, that's when we're really going to find what your love is made of. Is it made of porcelain? Or is it made of coal? And is it turning into a diamond the more pressure you put on it, right? Because that's what you need to look for. The porcelain looks pretty, all right? That shit shatters the slightest bump. Let's go.
There's cells in my blood. A lesson that taught me that love ain't enough and that love can be porcelain when times get tough. Flash forward 5 years later, sitting in the passenger seat of my dad's car with my maker. My dad looked shaken, turned to face him. The words that he spoke cutthroat like razor. He said, Ren, sometimes love can be complicated, navigating a world that we co-created. And I've made mistakes, but I will love you daily. And just
Okay, hold on. Well, I'll let him finish. Let him finish that.
complicated, navigating a world that we co-created. And I've made mistakes, but I will love you daily. And just like that, it's just me, my mum and my sis. The stress left mum disabled for a bit.
Okay.
My dad looked shaken, turned to face him. The words that he spoke cutthroat like razor. He said, Ren, sometimes love can be complicated, navigating a world that we co-created. And
Love's complicated, navigating a world that we co-created. Okay, Ren is the world that they co-created. All right, but sometimes love's complicated. And no matter how much people love each other, you have issues, okay? You have things you can't get over. Trust has been broken by one side, you know, irreconcilable differences, whatever the issues may be. It's complicated. And even though he loves you, they love the world that they co-created together, which is Ren and all the world around him, right? It doesn't matter. You have to go your separate ways. And it's just, it's sad because, you know, the people in the relationship, there's a certain amount of suffering when you're separating from a person, you know, that you cared about, that you loved. But really the ones who really suffer the most are the children, you know, children like Ren here. The world that you co-created, that's what suffers. You know, it's sad. It's really sad. Let's go.
He said, Ren, sometimes love can be complicated, navigating a world that we co-created. And I've made mistakes, but I will love you daily. And just like that, it's just me, my mum and my sis. The stress left mum disabled for a bit. I grew up fast then, cause I gotta be a new Ren. Strong for my sis and my mum at a loose end. Confused but moving through the confusion. My raw new love feels fake like what does your love look like?
Okay, you know, he had to grow up quick then, right? He has to take care of his mom and his sis.
Confused but moving through the confused then. It's just me, my mum and my sis. The stress left mum disabled for a bit. I grew up fast then, cause I gotta be a new Ren. Strong for my sis and my mum at a loose end.
He has to grow up fast then. He has to be strong in he has to be a new Ren because he has to be strong for his mom and his sister, right? You know, and that sucks. You know, he's a young man, just kind of learning, coming into his own, learning on how to do this. And now all of a sudden, he's the man of the house. He's being looked to protect, provide, possibly, you know. I had a buddy, okay, whose father passed when he was, I don't know, we're somewhere between the ages of like 17 and 19, maybe 20, 21. I can't quite remember, but he was a young man, okay? He was a young man and his father passed away. His father was the breadwinner, all right, took care of the family. And now all of a sudden, he's being looked to be the breadwinner of the house, to take care of his mom and sister. When, you know, as a young kid, he wasn't ready for it. He did it because he had to. He had to grow up fast when that happened. So I've seen it. I haven't ever had to go through something like this, but I've seen it, okay, up close. So, you know, and that could be devastating. It's hard to deal with, and that leaves a lasting impact, you know, well into adulthood. Let's go.
For a bit. I grew up fast then, cause I gotta be a new Ren. Strong for my sis and my mum at a loose end. Confused but moving through the confusion. My raw new love feels fake like what does your love look like? Does it tear your inside? Does it keep you up at night? My brother. Does it make you feel like a fist in your windpipe? Suffocate the feeling of what love's meant to feel like. Navigating you, but I'm still not quite right. One night stand, make the pain stop one night. One more heart to the blade with my cold night. What does your love look like?
You realize how hard that I work and you told me you feel for me. If I lost all my motivation tomorrow, would you still love me? It's easy to love when I'm up, when I'm down and you leaving. You can't even give me an answer cause you never seen it, and that's why it's hard to believe it. If you...
Okay. That brings his whole first verse full circle. All right, and it connects the dots right there. Like I said, this is what I love about this song. How it starts off is like this is these issues, but then how these issues evolve, okay, throughout the song, into finally what's the actual main problem, okay, and it's right here. He spells it out for her.
Hard that I work and you told me you feel for me. If I lost all my motivation tomorrow, would you still love me?
All right, if I lost all my motivation tomorrow, would you still love me? All right, so he's making music, he's making, doing his thing, getting some money, right? Okay, getting paid token. What if he loses all his motivation, he doesn't want to do it anymore? Is she still going to be there? This is what he's asking her. And I'm not saying, okay, and I don't think he's coming from the angle of you're a gold digger. Like, that's not what this is about. He's established that in the first verse, okay, and I'll point it out. But here it comes.
You feel for me. If I lost all my motivation tomorrow, would you still love me? It's easy to love when I'm up, when I'm down, are you leaving?
It's easy to love when I'm up, when I'm down, are you leaving? Okay? And that's, obvious. Like I said earlier, it's when everything's good, it's easy. It's easy to be happy and to love and to, but you don't get tested until it's down. All right, that's where the true love comes in, okay? You have to go through the downs, right? So he's like asking her, hey, if I'm up, it's great, but when I'm down, what are you doing, right?
Ma, would you still love me? It's easy to love when I'm up, when I'm down, are you leaving? You can't even give me an answer because you never seen it, and that's why it's hard to believe it if you...
Well, let me let him say it again.
You can't even give me an answer because you never seen it, and that's why it's hard to believe it if
you can't even give me an answer because you've never seen it. That's why it's hard for me to believe in. Okay, so she could tell him, yeah, of course, when you're down, I'm still here. We're together. We're in this 100% all the way. And he's telling her, look, you can say that, but your upbringing determined that I can't take your word for that because you've never seen down. You've never in your life seen down. Token has seen down. He knows what down is. He knows what it means. Okay? Her and her upper middle class life upbringing or whatever, and her father always there and the happy family and the picnics and the zoos and the trips and, all that stuff. She's never seen down. She doesn't know what down is. Whereas like somebody who may have had a similar upbringing to Token, okay? What I'm assuming is his upbringing from the song. If he had met a girl who lived that lifestyle that he lived growing up, he knows she's seen down. So he knows when he says, when I'm down, are you still going to be here? That she knows exactly what he's referencing. And he knows she knows. Like, you get it. You know what I mean by down. You've been there. We've struggled through it. And whereas she might say, hey, yeah, of course I'm here when you're down. I've been down before. It's nothing. We could do it together. We'll struggle through it together. And he can he could take her word for it because he knows she knows exactly what she's getting herself into. This other girl can say, hey, of course, I'm here for you. When you get down, I'm going to be there. We're staying together. But her down, so far in her life has been, a concert ticket selling out before she can get her dad's credit card and make the payment, okay, on StubHub or whatever the, ticket sales, Ticketmaster, whatever. So that's her down. So she doesn't have any idea of what down is. So it's like, it's easy to say, but you have no concept. You have no idea what this actually is and what this entails. So I can't take your word that you'll be here. So there's a level of trust that they can never get to together. And it's not her fault and it's not his fault. And he's not saying she's a gold digger and only wants to be there in the good times. It's just that she doesn't know what kind of rude awakening she's in for if things went down because she's never experienced it. And until you experience it, you don't know how you're going to react. And you can't say for certain 100% one way or the other. You have to do it to know. Okay. So it's just his situation is tragic because all these differences are outside of both of their controls, but they're major differences that allow them to love each other, but maybe not be able to mesh in a relationship together. And you know, like I said, it's sad. It's sad.
You can't even give me an answer cause you never seen it, and that's why it's hard to believe it. If you need help but I'm too far away, is it over for you? Maybe I'm just not the person for you, even though I still could be the soul for you.
Maybe I'm not the person for you because I might still be the soul for you. And that goes back to, you know, they love each other. They care for each other deeply. They connect well. But unfortunately, these differences make it so they're not the person for each other, even though their souls belong together. You know, it's like a Shakespearean tragedy, right?
Maybe I'm just not the person for you, even though I still could be the soul for you. Maybe we are meant to be together, but our history got in the way. Your trust issues, my fear issues, too many issues at play. You yell fast, I get quiet, you wanna see more passion. I've seen what real yelling can lead to, so no, I don't have it.
She's saying, you know, he has trouble expressing emotions, communicating, right? He might shut down when he's angry or be quiet with her. And she's trying to get more of a reaction out of him, like, talk to me, communicate, be more passionate, you know? And he's like, I know what passion is and what it looks like and the road it can lead down. What starts out as like passion could quickly turn to anger and shouting and something very dark and ugly, okay, that he's had to live with. He's seen passionate arguments and he knows like it's not, and that goes back to their upbringing, you know? She what's passion to her, you know, and passion to him are two totally different things, okay? And he knows that the passion that was modeled to him turns dark and ugly. So he knows if he goes down that road, he'll end up being dark and ugly, and he just wants to avoid it altogether. It's like an old, former alcoholic who just knows they can never take that sip, right? So they just refrain from all alcohol forever because that one sip could be the spiral. And he's just not even going to go down that road. All right.
See more passion. I've seen what real yelling can lead to, so no, I don't have it. I grew up afraid to see holes in a wall in a room that was locked from inside. I promise I'm used to it all. You don't gotta ever hold back and cry, but I gotta tell you why. I'm not right for you, but I'm just what I should be. You try to change me, I try to change you. We never change, do we? What does your love look like? What does your love look like? What does your love look like? What does your love look like?
Just a brilliant song. Absolutely brilliant. Token was great in it, but honestly, Ren's verse just set this off. Like he was so good in this song. And like I said, I wish that original reaction would have came out. I ended up running about the same time, so I think I covered the same amount of topics as I talked about in the original. But yeah, just a great song. I just love how it all builds. It all builds off of each other. You know, start off with these little problems, and this is how it affects it's fantastic job. But that'll do it. That'll be the reaction. Middle-aged white guy, the reaction, okay? The redo reaction. Middle-aged white guy is out. Peace.